I think with fashion film, it's always interesting that you have like a very diverse group. Also, like sometimes the fashion designers don't have that much experience with film. And then it's interesting to see how this is gonna kind of influence the whole film and the group and how they're gonna come to like a consensus product. What I find interesting in fashion film is mostly it's beautiful. It's like mostly very visual, striking images. Which is very pleasing also as a filmmaker to make, and then to still make it into like a good mix of like this visually striking but still interesting story.
I try to cover the most important challenges when it comes to writing a short film, which is probably the fact that when you are telling a story in a short amount of time, you're short on time. So you have to make choices, and there are ways to sort of force yourself to make choices, and the main thing probably is that you have to identify the essence of your story as early on as possible and try to stick to it. That's the main thing, but it's harder than you think. It sounds easy, but it's not.
So we're shooting our short fashion film, The Leap, today. It's more about just three generations in connection to each other, actually, in a way. So that there's like kind of literally like red line in the whole collection or in the whole costume design of the movie. So the son has like red boots and red swimming shoes, and the dad has like red socks. So it's very subtle with the dad, but and the grandpa has some red laces, so they all have something that connects them together a little bit. And then the older they get, the less of the reds they have, kind of.
And action.
I really love filming in one location. I love telling a story that's only set in one location. So that's something I really liked about this story as well. I also love working with people who have a different background. So not necessarily from film, but from theater. I think that's interesting. I think when we started on writing the film or developing film, I was really intrigued by the fact that the boy's taking a leap into the water, and on the water there is this world that's all for himself. So it's a world that he can design the way he wants, and eventually we got rid of that idea a little bit. But I think the leap into adulthood is also about being independent, breaking use of boundaries, breaking use of relationships, and really making the connection with yourself. And this is actually what I got in mind when writing the film, and when I worked on the film. It was one of my personal inspirations. Yes.
The idea was kind of to let the clothes connect to the water in a way, and to see the clothes dry before, then wet in the water, and then wet out of the water. So you kind of have three stages that make the garment look very different on each stage. That's like easy to picture in your head, but to finally see it in the water, it's really, I'm not so really how to win.
I'm completely wet because I was watching his grandson taking his first dive, and he remembers his first dive, and it comes together. It's like the memory is real, so real that he is also soaking wet.
we ended up with, I think, the most essential and pure meaning of what we want. And it's very, very fun to see how it ended up and where we started from. Actually, I'm just proud of the crew, and you know, sometimes you get a bit this magical feeling, this emotional feeling almost from just seeing beautiful shots. I think when you do filmmaking and you know that everybody will recognize this feeling, that you look at the monitor and you think, damn, that's nice.
A tip for inspiring filmmakers would be to just start making films. You know, at least write films. Coming from a writer, the best way to learn to write is by just write your films. Even, you know, if the film doesn't get made, keep writing and try to make your films. Eventually, you will get there.
I see this workshop as like just the starting point, just like a kind of first tryout, like this is fashion film, and I'm there to kind of facilitate their ideas. But I want and I wish that they then continue to become great fashion filmmakers, hopefully better than me. And yeah, explore all kinds of universes and multiverses.